Hey there YouTube, I have an interesting video for you guys today. This is going to be focusing on the new patch that was released along with the Rise of the Samurai DLC, and I want to do an overview on this patch because I really feel that this one made a huge difference in Shogun 2. It's really going to change how this game is played, and I have had a very busy day. I haven't been able to play multiplayer yet today. So tomorrow I'll kind of show you guys some of the new tactics being used online, maybe some live commentaries, but we'll see on that. So first off, I want to talk about Avatar Prestige system, and this video is going to be focused on the Avatar Prestige system, unit caps, price changes, and some veteran skills that have been a little bit mixed up. Also a little bit on the retainers. I don't know a ton about the retainer aspect, but I do have a couple notes here on it. So we will take a look here. First up is the Avatar Prestige mode. And in order to do this, what you have to do is press this button here. Once you go into Avatar Conquest, this button here will be right next to your avatar's name. And if you scroll over it, it'll say Promote Avatar. And then go, Promotion will raise your avatar's prestige, refreshing the Avatar Conquest map and resetting all features except clan tokens, veteran units, armor set pieces, and associated retainers, Steam achievements, and whatnot. Anyway, the color of your avatar's ranking stars depends on your current prestige level, bronze, silver, then gold. So you can do this a couple of times till you reach gold, and essentially, you guys may be wondering what is the point of this. It actually does make quite a difference. One, if you're a player who likes to kind of replay a game in a sense, then this is a good way to do so. It's kind of like a Call of Duty prestiging system where you get to reset your avatar. You do get to keep your veterans, which I think is an interesting choice, just because then you can still be 1 star with 9 Chev Lone Swords. I mean, obviously you won't bring them, well, you might, because they don't cost that much. They did get a price bump, so don't get me wrong, but it just seems kind of a weird choice. We will see how that plays out. I don't know if I will Prestige. I probably will, but we shall see. Anyway, though, the main reason why you want to Prestige is that you're going to gain 10 veteran slots by Prestiging. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, this amount just really isn't enough anymore. And for some reason, there's an X here. Not actually sure why that is. I haven't really checked on everything, but essentially, I just wanted to show you that most of my veteran unit slots are filled. I only have one spare one, so that is why I probably would Prestige, and that's just a cool little thing that they added into the game currently. Okay, so another thing about these prestige avatars is a higher prestige avatar will cost more to bring to the field after they are prestige more and more. So a silver prestige avatar will cost more than a bronze, gold more than silver, and so on and so forth. So that is the main idea with the prestiging system. Currently my avatar is 1800, which it's going to be pretty scary seeing that even increase more. It does make sense, though, because then you get more veteran slots, and it pretty much works out in the end. I think it's a good system that they added in, and especially it's for players who want to kind of redo 1 to 10 stars. Should be a pretty interesting thing to achieve. Okay, next up is the unit changes, unit caps, and all that other good stuff. Okay, also, I don't have the DLC quite yet. I will do a video saying, doing basically an overview of everything the Rise of Samurai has to offer. I'm going to be explaining all of it, but not right now because I don't have it yet. I'll get it tomorrow, or, well, probably the day I put this out, I'll have it. But I'm going to do an overview on that. I'm going to do an overview on all the new maps, so do not worry, it'll all come soon enough. I did not mean to do that. Okay, so first up, we have some unit caps that have been introduced, and the first one is to stop lone swords. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of the community was getting really, really sick of lone swords, and I can't blame them. I really can't. Lone swords are really the one problem that this game had beforehand. Well, some good news being they have now been capped at 4 lone swords. Okay, and they've also received a price bump from 400 to 500, so they cost a bit more. They're capped at 4. Now, some people might still consider just 9 Chev Lone Swords ridiculous. I particularly don't, just so long as it's not a spam. If there are 5 or less, I'd say that's a fair number of Lone Swords. I'm fine with a person who brings that sort of army build. But if you start bringing 8 and above, that's when it just gets ridiculous. Anything below 8, I can pretty much tolerate. I'd say 7 still borderline spam, definitely. It's really just not that honorable in my opinion on Shogun 2. So I'm really happy that that CA listened to us and they capped them and increased their price. Okay, next up, Bowmonks, bane of lower levels on this game. Essentially, Bowmonks now cost more. They went from 1,000 to 1,100, as you can see right here. And another thing about these guys, they are now capped at 2 each army. Now, I particularly don't mind this because I only bring 2 pretty much max, and ordinarily my 2 bow units are consisted of a bowmonk and a daikyu samurai because I now have some good veterans of those guys. But I like what they have done with bowmonks. I see why they did it. Obviously, longsword spammers would always bring the high numbers of bowmonks, really highly chevron, 200 range, because they needed the bow advantage, and they would essentially play defensively with an offensive army. But now the bowmonk advantage has pretty much been nullified, the longsword advantage has been nullified, so again, CA, I definitely agree with your decision there. Interesting thing, Matchlock Ashigaru. Now, particularly, I think Matchlock Ashigaru are just particularly crap. When it comes to Matchlock Ashigaru, their morale is just horrendous. They will rot very, very quickly unless you get good chevrons on them, and I guess that's why the patch was kind of meant for this. 9-chev Matchlock Ashigaru. I mean, it makes sense. They're now capped at 3, and they went from 400 to 500, as you can see. Okay. Next up, we have Great Guard. Now, I think that this was a very interesting choice by CA. I really didn't expect this one. They limited Great Guard to 1, and to me, it seems like an odd choice. Although, it's actually X'd out right now, so I'm not exactly sure what's the deal with that. But they did give it a price bump from 1,200 to 1,300. So that is the deal with the Great Guard. So it's a max of 1. I think they may have taken out Shogun's Emissary, or made it just available to field 1. Take a look. Yeah, it allows a player to field 1 Great Guard unit. Okay, so they did not take that out. You just can only get 1 now. I like that, mostly because Great Guard just seemed really, really powerful, and if you have 2, they're pretty darn devastating. I like what they did with that. Yari Cav should really be your main cavalry force. You should not rely completely on Great Guard. They're a nice supporting unit, but you should not rely on a pure Great Guard contingent of cavalry. So I like that. Next up, Daikyu Samurai. Now, this does pretty much affect me because now I have my first 9-chev unit, and it's my Daikyu Samurai. But it's really no big deal. They just gave it a little price bump from 1,000 to 1,100. Mine costs more, obviously, because it is 9 chevrons. I do not have them upgraded all the way, or at least I don't think I do. Maybe I do. Looks like they also took out reload speed here for these guys. So the CA has obviously made a bunch of changes. There will probably be a second part to this where I have a bit more information on some of this newer stuff. I have this from the pre-patch notes, so some of my information might be a little bit off. Please excuse me for that. Next up, we have Firebomb Throwers. Interesting choice by CA. I mean, I don't really understand the point of Siege to begin with. I don't get the point of bringing Firebomb Throwers online. I mean, they're okay, but they're certainly not going to make that big of an impact unless you use them really effectively, which really doesn't happen, and even effectively, they're still pretty crap because they don't really have much ammo. And their morale effect is really not even that great either. You're better off with Matchlock, and I mean, a Matchlock Samurai pretty much costs the same. But for Firebomb Throwers, the price has been dropped from 700 to 600. Okay, now we move into all the hero units. Now, I can't exactly tell you exactly because some of mine are veteran. But essentially, there have been a couple drops. Yari Hero is now 1,200 instead of 1,550. As you can see by here. Bow Hero is now 1,500 instead of 1,650. See if we can find those guys. No, they're here somewhere. Huh, I might just be being blind. There they are. Okay, so 1500 instead of 1650. And that Katana Hero goes from 1500 to 1600. So let's take a look at that. Where are you? Right here. Now, mine costs more because there are 4 chevrons. But no chevrons on them. They would be 1500. So that's the price change. Okay, next up is Kisho Ninja. And these guys now have gone through a little bit of a price drop. I particularly thought that the price on them before was pretty darn accurate, considering the fact that, I mean, they're good in melee. They're definitely not a throwaway unit. They have bombs, they have blinding grenades if you upgrade them a little bit, and really they can be a very effective unit. So I'm not quite certain why there was a price drop on these guys. I guess maybe because most players just didn't know how to use them and just kind of threw them out. Which does happen occasionally, but if you use them properly, they are very deadly. So interesting choice there. Alright, Matchlock Samurai. They have received a little bit of a price drop from 700 to 650. I'm not quite sure what was the point of the small bit of price drop, but that's what they decided to do. I do agree with this next part. They are now capped at 2. And really, this patch focused a lot on Matchlock and Longsword because that is what the community was raving about, and that's what we all wanted them to fix, CA in terms of them. And really, they did accommodate this. So they have capped Matchlock, they have capped Longswords, they've made price changes, and I really like what they're doing with this. But that's basically the idea of Matchlock Samurai. Another thing I want to go over now that I've finished off all the Matchlock section is that Matchlock's accuracy upgrades are now pretty much nerfed, and for those of you who did not know how Matchlock accuracy worked before, Matchlock accuracy basically made it to where you could shoot through the backs of your own men with less casualties to your own guys if your unit has higher accuracy, which really doesn't make sense. So what they did is they nerfed the accuracy upgrades, so you're actually going to do a lot of more damage to your own troops than you might be used to. So really, I think this is going to make people think twice about just shooting into the backs of your own men with your Matchlock, and really, this would have really affected Longsword spammers before the patch too, because all Longsword spammers use their Matchlocks in a position to shoot their men in the back, but just the morale effect. But that's the idea behind that, and I like what they did with that. Just remember, from now on, you pretty much have to use your Matchlock on the flanks, which is a good tactic to pretty much always use. It's better than shooting your own men in the back to begin with, but they've made it more necessary to use them on the flanks now. Okay, so we have one more unit that I want to discuss in terms of capping and pricing, is the Bow Cavalry. So, Bow Cavalry, they actually cap them, and they reduce their price. So Bow Cavalry is now, see if I can find them. Bow Cavalry is now 600 instead of 650, and they are now capped at 3. So you can no longer bring a spam of Bow Cav. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a spam of Bow Cav. I hear that they do exist. I'm not sure if that would even be close to effective, considering they are slower than Yari Cav. But I suppose it was a good cap. I mean, if you're bringing more than 3 Bow Cav, you're kind of stupid anyway, because Bow Cav is not the greatest. But that's just personal opinion. I guess like 5-9 Chev Bow Cav would be deadly, but really, if you bring more than that, this is kind of silly. Okay, so finally for this video, I want to talk about the veteran skills, and essentially, Sword's melee, attack, and charge have been reduced in terms of their upgrades and retainers and whatnot. So they've done a bunch of improvements, really, and I'm definitely liking what CA has done. Let's take a look at a sword unit here. Alright, that'll do. Okay, so I don't exactly remember pre-patch, but I'm pretty sure that these are different. I'm not really positive on that. I'm going to make a second video to this with the current patch notes. This is from the pre-patch notes that I just wrote down everything that I thought was useful information, And next video, I'm going to be showing you guys the maps. We'll take a quick look at them right now just to see them. Let's see. Yeah, it'll do. Just needs to load up there. Okay, so as you can see, they've pretty much doubled the maps. In fact, I think that's exactly what they've done. So let's take a look at, well, actually, I'm going to save that for the next video. But as you can see, there's some very new maps. From what I hear, all these maps are pretty darn balanced. So that's definitely going to be interesting. I'm going to be making a video with, it's probably going to be a dual commentary with a subscriber of some sort. But that is basically the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of discussion with the patch. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this. I really do. If you do want to see a second video of this, please let me know through your ratings and comments. And if I did miss anything vital, I'll make it anyway. But if there's anything in particular you guys want to know about that really can't be answered just through a comment, maybe other people have the question too, please leave a comment. Definitely help me a lot. And other than that, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.